July 26, 2025. 140 masked pirates, armed with rifles, machetes, and homemade explosives, opened fire on a U.S. cruise ship carrying 978 civilians, mostly retirees and families. They thought it would be an easy hijacking. What they didn't know was that the United States had already received a distress call. And within just 19 minutes, they were staring down the wrath of 40 Navy SEALs, a nuclear submarine, snipers dropped from AC-130, UAVs overhead, and a perfectly executed surprise attack. How did the U.S. military deploy a multi-layered sea, air, and underwater assault without the pirates noticing? How many lives were lost in those terrifying moments? And could the passengers have been saved without the lightning-fast response? 6:15 a.m. The waters off Somalia, once calm, turned into chaos. From the misty horizon, 20 speedboats roared in formation. 7 pirates on each. Faces hidden, shirtless bodies covered in salt and sweat, eyes wild with bloodlust. They came in 3 waves, charging toward the American cruise ship Pacific Monarch, loaded with nearly 1,000 passengers. They didn't issue demands. They didn't wait. They opened fire instantly, like a pack of wolves, tearing into the ship with a frenzy. Bullets tore through windows. Screams filled the air. Blood hit the deck. A group of pirates stormed the middle level, forcing women to their knees, ripping bags, watches, and phones from terrified hands. Another team broke into the VIP suites, hunting for wealthy hostages to ransom. They thought they'd found easy prey, an unarmed cruise ship, floating fat in the ocean. They were wrong. In the ship's control room, Captain Richard Kane, a 62-year-old former naval officer, made a split-second call. He activated a classified SOS signal. Just 7 words: cruise ship under attack, immediate action. 4 minutes later, 220 nautical miles away, Admiral Samuel V. Turner, commander of 17 International Rescue Ops, read the signal and gave a single command: launch. Everything moved like clockwork. An MQ-9 Reaper drone was deployed, silently mapping every inch of the ship from above. Beneath the waves, a Virginia-class nuclear submarine moved into position, carrying 40 elite SEALs. A nearby Arleigh Burke-class destroyer positioned itself just 2 miles from the cruise ship, playing decoy, pretending to negotiate, buying time. Back on the Pacific Monarch, hostages were separated. Women and the elderly huddled together, many in shock. What the pirates didn't know was that time was running out. In just 47 minutes, steel would rise from the sea. At 07:02 hours, beneath the Indian Ocean's green surface, the submarine eased into position, 80 feet below the hull of Pacific Monarch. Inside, the SEALs sat in complete silence, helmets on, weapons ready, no one blinking. The mission was called Operation Silent Steel. The objective: neutralize over 100 pirates. No civilian casualties. None. At 0710, the SEALs deployed in teams of 4. Wearing advanced climbing suits with suction ascenders, they emerged from the sea one by one. Silent, invisible, locking onto the hull with magnetic tethers, they climbed with precision, guided by real-time infrared scans beamed into their visors from the MQ-9 overhead. Inside the ballroom, 120 hostages sat frozen. 5 pirates circled them with rifles. Near the stern, 40 more passengers were locked in cabins. Most of the pirates remained fixated on the decoy destroyer, unaware of the silent storm crawling toward them. By 0722, all SEAL teams had boarded and split into 3 squads. Alpha team positioned above the ballroom through air vents. Bravo team took the starboard lifeboat deck. Charlie team moved through the inner corridors, equipped with suppressed MP7s and radio jamming devices. They didn't charge in. They waited, calculated every step. The mission required absolute control. One wrong move could cost lives. Inside the ballroom, 5 pirates paced. 1 stood near the exit. Alpha team had eyes on all of them. Then, from the UAV, came a new alert. Pirates were prepping to move hostages to escape boats. That window was closing. At 0729, the final command came. Green light. Lock all zones. No friendly fire. In that instant, the stillness broke. At 0731, Alpha team struck. A flashbang dropped through the air shaft, white light and deafening silence. The pirates were blinded, stunned. 2 went down instantly, headshots from above. A third tried to grab a hostage. 2 rounds through his collarbone dropped him mid-motion. The other 2 never got the chance. Bravo team stormed the stairwell. 1 pirate dragging a woman by the arm never reached the next step. Another prying open a lifeboat was dropped with a single shot to the spine. The corridors were flooded with quiet commands: stay down. You're safe. U.S. Navy. Charlie team moved like shadows. In the kitchen, 4 pirates had set up behind metal carts. One pulled a grenade. Charlie's lead put him down before the pin cleared the clip. Above, the Reaper drone tracked 7 pirates sprinting toward the aft escape boats. Then, sniper fire. Viper team, air-dropped from AC-130, opened fire from 1,800 feet. Within 22 seconds, 5 bodies hit the deck. The last 2 raised their hands and dropped their weapons. By 0737, 60 pirates were down. Not one SEAL had fallen. But it wasn't over. Suddenly, a blast shook the central stairwell. A pirate with a suicide vest charged toward the ballroom. SEAL Corporal Mason, 34, tackled him. Using the suppressor muzzle of his rifle, he beat the attacker unconscious before he could detonate. Elsewhere, a SEAL took a bullet to the shoulder. He waved off medics, reloaded, and cleared another hallway. By 0742, every corridor was secure. The entire operation had lasted 11 minutes. 0 hostages killed, 3 SEALs lightly injured, the ship still intact, the message clear. By 0743, the gunfire stopped. What remained was silence, a low hum from drones overhead. SEAL teams swept every last compartment. In the engine room, 2 pirates were hiding. They surrendered without a word. On the promenade, 3 tried to blend in with hostages. They were zip-tied within seconds. And finally, at the stern, 12 pirates emerged, barefoot, weapons gone, holding a torn white sheet in surrender. They dropped to their knees. There was no negotiation. They were searched, restrained, and prepared for extraction. Over 70 pirates had been killed. 20 were critically injured. The rest surrendered. Not a single civilian life lost. Aboard Pacific Monarch, the tension broke. Applause, tears, relief. One little girl raised an American flag she had brought for her cruise and waved it proudly as SEALs passed by. The captain's voice echoed through the speakers. "This is Captain Kane. You're safe. And you have the United States Navy to thank for it." Nearby, the Arleigh Burke destroyer deployed recovery teams. Military medics boarded the ship to assist passengers. Food, water, and blankets were handed out. Helicopters secured the air. By 0810, the ship was under full U.S. control. The mission wasn't just a success. It was a warning, a message. Admiral Turner sent one final transmission to the Pentagon. Target neutralized, civilians secured, pirates in custody, message delivered, and that message was unmistakable. If you target American lives, no matter where, no matter when, there will be no escape. No mercy, no delay. The rescue of Pacific Monarch wasn't just about tactics. It was about principle. In a world filled with danger, the United States showed the world that it does not hesitate to protect its own. Nearly 1,000 civilians at gunpoint. 140 pirates thinking they had an easy victory. But what they got was a response of steel, speed, and unmatched discipline. No American left behind. Not one. If this story moved you, informed you, or reminded you why our armed forces stand ready at all hours, support this channel. Like, subscribe, and share. And tell us in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? This is Navy Signal World. We don't just tell the stories. We broadcast the signal.